the change. You blink your eyes and ain't nothing the same. Won't somebody tell me so I can live my life? Live my life with that real love. That real love, may it guide us note by note, step by step. Be limitless, be patient. Note by note, step by step. Be limitless, be patient. Note by note, step by step. Be limitless, be patient. Note by note, step by step. Be limitless, be patient with that real love. That real love. That real love, may it guide us note by note, step by step. Be limitless, be patient. Note by note, step by step. Be limitless, be patient.
That's Jackie Venson. My name is Ronnie Dean. This is a set of Nashville Side Streets, and she is come in from Austin, Texas to be a judge in what show?
The Belk Southern Musician Showcase.
And what is that exactly?
It's a department store named Belk. They want to target a younger audience. It's a 150-year-old department store. So they've gone through generations and generations of all sorts of people all over the South. And now they're trying to reach the younger generations in the South so that they can keep going, hopefully for another 150 years. So what they do is they choose young musicians to represent their brand. It's like musicians are being their brand ambassadors.
So a few years ago, you were telling me before the show, a couple years ago, that you won this.
Yes, I won it in 2014.
What did you get in regards to recognition or money or?
Well, we would win a big cash prize, and we win a 5-show paid, all expense paid tour.
Very cool. Where did you go and play?
We played alongside some really famous artists. They actually partnered with Live Nation. And so we got to play in the VIP lounges of Live Nation concerts like Jason Aldean and James Taylor.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
We saw Nancy and I, my wife, who was running the show in there tonight, we saw James Taylor on Channel 8 with his group. I had never seen him with his band. He's still extraordinary.
Oh yeah, he's killing it, man.
He blows my mind. He really does.
He's great. He's funny too.
That's pretty neat. You so the 5 shows, does it pay you any money?
Yes, it pays. The actual performance is a paid performance, as well as they fly us there. They pay our lodging, and
so you got to take your own group with you.
I auditioned solo, so they hired me solo. But other people who auditioned with a band, and other winners got to tour with their band. Yeah.
So any of the videos that were shot of these shows, did you get any of them in your hands to promote yourself?
They gave us a lot of pictures, and there is if you research Belk Southern Musician Showcase on YouTube, you could find the audition and the finale that we got to go to. You can find footage that they
Are you
filmed.
able to, I'm asking this for a reason, are you able to buy the videos yourself and cut them up for your own personal?
I haven't asked.
It might be a
good question.
Yeah, it might be an interesting thing for you to do because,
Yeah.
like I was telling you earlier in the show, that's how I got started.
Yeah.
I was able to do a video. I was on a TV show here for a couple of years, and the guy asked me to be a performer on the show, and then I took those videos, cut them up, and we went and I sent them to fair circuits in different places in different towns and cities, and that's how I got to traveling.
Nice.
So it works out pretty well. I'm going to read a little bit of the first part of her bio here. It's kind of neat. I don't know who wrote this. Who'd you say wrote this for you?
My friend Lee Carver.
She's got a way with words.
She does.
It is legend that during a drunken back alley brawl, Jackie Venson punched Pluto straight out of the planetary existence. I think that's pretty cool.
I don't know where she came up with that.
Yeah, well, I think that's pretty cool. She ought to be writing stories. I write stories. That's pretty neat.
I think she should be writing
She's
stories.
got great vocabulary.
She does.
I'm going to read just a little bit more of it. There's one part in here I shouldn't read, but I'm not. If I read it, I'm sorry. An astonishing mix of raw soul, superb musicianship, laid back grace. Now, what do you consider yourself as far as genre?
I would say indie blues, because sometimes I play blues stuff and sometimes I play stuff that leans a little bit more folk, and then sometimes I throw in reggae as well. And also I'm an independent artist, so
you when you record your stuff, do you record in Austin?
yes I do.
And you use a studio there? Would you mind mentioning the studio, or is it a good thing?
I actually work with a producer. His name is Eddie Hobazal.
Very cool.
He has a studio, like a studio in his backyard. It's kind of like a guest house, but he converted it into a studio, and we've done all the records together.
I like your music. I mean, I'm an audio nut, and I work in some
he's got quite an ear.
Yeah, that's the point. Now, if you've got ears, you can do anything.
His ears, it's like his whole body is made out of ears.
Well,
it's crazy. He hears everything.
Mixing stuff is the whole trick. Be able to put the lady's voice, especially your own, out front, and the music in the background, which just doesn't happen today. I mean, so much music has covered up everything that's good.
It's the noise wars, the loudness wars.
I told this story here a while back, and I'll let you do another tune here. In Nashville here, one of the things is guitar tracks. So many good guitar players here. So I talked to this guy the other day, and they ran 50 tracks of guitar on one tune. So you can imagine what the tune was. I mean, you listen to, no offense here to anybody that's cutting country music or anything, but you listen to today's country music, and a lot of it is covered up by instrumentation.
Also, if you listen to a lot of modern country music, you can actually put like the tracks on top of each other and press play.
They did that.
And
you
they're like
must have saw that where they did that. I was flabbergasted.
I already knew they could do that.
It all sounded the same.
Yeah, I already knew that. Like, just listening to the station, I knew that. But then they actually did it just to show people, like, look. And it's crazy.
What really interests me in regards to that is that people don't realize that they're in a box. They're putting you in a box, and then all of a sudden you're like this, and you can't move, where you're free. So you can stay that way, just to stay that way for a while.
Yes, I will always be free, my friend.
Do another tune for us, Jackie.
You got it.
This is Jackie Venson.
When it is all said and done, can you say that you had fun? Or will you stuck up in your head, thinking about the things they said? But I built myself higher so I can share my love. Oh, I built myself higher so I can share my love. Yeah, yeah. Share my love, share my love. be scared to be themselves, express the feelings that they feel. But I'm free 'cause I am me, unapologetically, yeah. But I build myself higher so I can share my love. Oh, I build myself higher so I can share my love, yeah. Grew up in Babylon, good people drowning in me. Happiness can't be bought, but created with understanding. I've already come this far, so I will work with all my being to share my love. But I build myself higher so I can share my love. Oh, I build myself higher so I can share my love. Yeah, yeah. Share my love, share my love. Share my love, share my love. Share my love, share my love. Share my love, share my love.
So where do you get the ideas for your music?
Well, I usually get the ideas for my music from the things that I go through in my life and the things that I observe in
So-
my life.
So when you're traveling down the road, you see things that intrigue you enough to sit down and write about them, basically?
It's really completely unexpected because, like, a lot of things I've seen all my life, so they don't surprise me, and so I don't feel like they're special enough to write about. And then sometimes I'll go somewhere and see something crazy, and then I'll write about that. Or sometimes I'll go to a bunch of different places and not see anything crazy, and then I'll write about that.
Have you ever tried to sit down and write with other writers?
I have collaborated with rappers before, but as far as
Successfully, or?
yes, I love working with hip hop artists. It's something I wish I could do. I wish I could rap, but it's just not something that I can do.
Have you ever done anything where someone was rapping and you were doing something around what they were doing?
Yeah, what I will do is I'll write a song and I'll come up with a chorus and chords for the song, but then it just doesn't seem like there is going to be a verse. And so instead of a verse, I'll have a rapper. Instead of a sung verse, I'll have a rapped verse, and then I'll do the chords and I'll do the chorus, and the rapper will rap the verses.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I've never heard that. If you have some recordings of that, send them my way.
I will.
I'd like to listen to them.
I have a few.
We are starting to before the shows. We're going to start airing some of the people from around the world, basically. Before the artist, like yourself, will be playing someone else's music before the show starts.
Nice.
And we advertise for them. So send me some stuff.
I will.
Let's see here. Though she doesn't like to brag, Venson spent her college years at Berkeley College. Now, Berkeley College, it's a famous college. What did you learn there? I mean, really, in the 4 years that you were there? Were you there 4 years?
I was there for 3 years. I graduated early.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That says a lot.
Yeah, it was hard. It was not easy. I had to study all summer and take classes and test out of classes, but it wasn't easy.
When you played music there, there was some great musicians, I'm sure, at Berkeley.
Oh my gosh!
And
yes.
they come out of there basically. There is some music schools here. Blair School of Music is a privately owned college here, where Mark O'Connor and Yo-Yo Ma met.
Oh wow!
And I just happened to be there that day, which was kind of cool. I got to listen to these two, and I knew Mark O'Connor anyway, but the Yo-Yo Ma aspect, I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that kind of focused, intense energy.
Yeah.
I mean, the focusing is just amazing. You're very focused into what you do. You play and sing. We were talking about this a little bit before the show, but you have to have a certain amount of rhythm that you're born with to do this. Right.
Yeah. I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and you have that rhythm. And your family, anybody else play music?
Oh, yeah. My dad's a professional musician. He plays bass and sings, which is seriously, besides maybe playing drums and singing, it's the hardest thing to do ever.
Yes, it is. I agree. I'm a guitar player. I can't do it.
I see my dad playing bass and singing, and I'm just like,
because he's playing root, and sometimes he's playing on the two, and then around it, and his voice is it's like splitting your brain totally in half.
Well, here's the other thing about it, is the bass is the foundation. Everybody else in the band is looking to the bass.
They're leaning on it.
They're leaning on the bass and the drums. That's the backbone of the band. So sometimes, even though I've gotten the hang of playing piano and playing guitar and singing, that doesn't mean I'm always playing the right, like the chord on the downbeat, on the beat that it needs to be played on. But here's the thing, you can't miss that on the bass, because then you'll throw everybody else off.
That's a very true statement.
So it's like there's so much more flexibility playing like a chordal instrument and singing, rather than playing the backbone of the band and singing.
What's the name of the group that he works with?
He just calls it Venson and Friends.
And there how many people? How many guys involved?
Usually it's a three-piece. It's him on bass and vocals, and a guitar player and a drummer.
Power trio.
Power trio. That's how I do it as well.
That's what I did too for a lot of years. It's a lot of fun. You got some good guys. That's a great way to go.
Yeah, it's like you guys are like in it to win it, you know.
Yeah, and
till the end.
You have to listen to each other more, and you have to fill spaces more. But at the same time, you become a better musician because you know enough not where to step on somebody.
And then also the other thing about it is singers always get covered up by the band. Like whenever I walk into a show and I see that there's one singer and a keyboard player and a horn player and a guitar player and a bass player and a drummer, I'm like, all right, either this band is going to cover up the singer, or this band is truly extraordinary and knows how to not do that somehow. And it's usually the former. It's never the latter.
There isn't too many Chicagos around.
No. And so I actually prefer to do a three-piece, because I don't want to be screaming at a keyboard player to turn his keyboard down, or screaming at a guitar player to turn his guitar down. I can't deal with that. I need to be able to hear myself. I need to be
You're smart.
top.
You're smart. It's the best. This was the same way that I thought of it. If you have a voice, which you do, then utilize it. It's the most powerful instrument out of all the voices up there anyway.
Yeah.
The rest of the voices
Unfortunately, for the general public, all they really want to listen to is the singer. I mean, they appreciate the band, but that's why instrumental bands never make it as far as bands with lead singers, you know.
You know, an interesting thing.
With few exceptions, of course, but...
An interesting thing, you could take your talent and we could put it out in the front yard here, and I've said this many times before, by yourself, doing what you're doing, and inside, during the summertime, inside of an hour, you would have the whole neighborhood here. That's what got me to thinking about this whole deal, is because I started playing bluegrass, and I started going out and I seen these guys playing acoustic instruments, 3 or 4 of them get together in a jam. The next thing you know, there's 200 people sitting there listening, and I thought, what's wrong with this picture? We listen to all this crap that's on the radio today, all this stuff that's on the radio today, and you end up basically thinking that that's what music really is. This is what music it really is. This is the real deal here. Do us another tune, Jackie.
All right.
Live in a little house on the side of the street, where the grass is dead but they water the concrete. In the summer I watch the people float by, in the winter I watch them weep and cry. I live in a little house on the side of the street. I live in a little house on the side of the road, where the people starve just to feed their cars and boats. In the fall, the men they stomp and shout. In the spring the women frolic about. I live in a little house on the side of the road. Oh, try to believe that work will set you free. Only wise men see that we were always free. We were always free. I live in a place where the people wonder why the grass is always greener on the other side. In the day they go to work and away, in the night they drink their fears away. I live in a place where the people wonder why. Oh, try to believe that work will set you free. Only wise men see that we were always free. Ooh, yeah.
So this lady was telling me before the show that she actually makes a living at this.
I do.
How long have you made a living at it?
I've been making a solid living at it since 2014, since I won that thing with Belk.
Really? So that did kind of open up doors for you.
It did. It built my resume. And so therefore, after we had a really concentrated year. They still hire me from time to time, but not as much as they did in 2014. So that was a really good year. And then 2015 came along, and I kind of was having a panic attack. I'm like, what am I going to do without them? But since they put me on so many great shows, people would go to my website and look me up, interested in a musician.
I don't know how I found you. I can't remember.
Probably the internet.
Are you on
Sonic Bids? Yeah.
Sonic Bids, I think. Yeah.
What people would do is they'd go and they'd look at my past shows, they'd look at my schedule, they'd research me, I guess, and they'd see this resume, and they just wouldn't even think to hire me below a certain number. Whereas before, since I was kind of playing gigs just around Austin, they'd be like, hey, $50. They'd throw out these really low numbers.
That's what happens here.
But after Belk, I stopped getting those low numbers.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it worth getting on a plane or getting into a car and driving someplace and having a small tour of some kind. Then you can come home with some money in your pocket.
Yep.
So you travel with your guys or ladies or whoever you travel with, or do you usually go by yourself?
I usually go by myself. I bring my looper.
Toys.
And, yeah, I bring my toys, and then I rent an amp in cities, or I borrow an amp somehow, or some clubs just have backline.
You were telling me before the show that you had gone to and played in parts of Europe.
Yes, I played for an entire month in Europe. I went to Berlin on a whim, on my own dime, 2 Novembers ago, and just went to blues jams. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go. I've never been to Europe. And I went to these blues jams and met a band. I basically just met a band. And then that band was like, hey, well, we're kind of looking for a singer. So if you ever want to come back, you know, we can put together a little tour and we can go on a little tour, like come back in the summer. And I was like, okay. So I did. And I was faithful that they would line up good shows, but I really didn't know. But it turned out to be amazing. We played 15 shows over a month. And one of them included a festival in Poland I headlined. I didn't even know I was headlining until I got there.
Do you have any videos of that?
Yes, there's actually the full concert is on YouTube. So
Tell them. I mean, seriously, where they can see it.
Go look up Gdynia. It's Gdynia. It's a weird word because it's Polish, but just look up Gdynia Blues Festival, Poland, Jackie Venson on YouTube. You'll find the whole concert. It's amazing.
Well, that's pretty. You know, first of all, it was like a door you walked through that you were supposed to walk through.
Yeah, it just happened. I guess it was meant to happen, so it happened.
Those things do happen. If you're, no offense to anybody that's in any part of the industry and stuff, I don't want to offend anybody, but if you're not doing drugs and alcohol and all the things that stop you from seeing those doors open up, it's a lot easier.
It is. They just swing open.
And when they do swing open, if you take a chance, it's an adventure.
Yeah.
And sometimes you lose, but sometimes you win like you did.
And even when you lose, you don't lose, because if you lost, that means you learned, that means you gained an experience, you gained knowledge on how not to lose in that way ever again. And, you know, sometimes you don't know how to avoid a mistake if you've never made the mistake. And so you don't really lose.
Are you going to go back and play with these folks?
I really want to. I'm trying to line something up, but then what ended up happening is this summer they wanted me to come back the same month. They wanted me to come back in June. And I ended up landing some of these landmark Austin, Texas gigs that I've been wanting to play forever. And also I landed some other gigs in New York, and I have some stuff working on in California. So it's like they wanted me to come back, but it's not the same time. You know what I mean? Like last June was a different time, but now things have kind of picked up in Austin, so this summer is getting a little booked in Austin.
So what do you want out of this, basically? I mean, on the long run, you want to sell your music, you want to get an artist deal, or you want to stay away from the artist deal and get your own thing going and make your own living for the rest of your life that way? I
want to do whatever keeps me making money without having to do things that aren't music related. So I want that, and preferably performing. That's like the only pretty much revenue stream I want, because with recorded music, it's such a weird climate now that it's really hard to.
It is definitely a weird thing.
We got streaming and we got downloads, and it's hard to make money with that unless you have like 1 million fans.
Well, I'm sure your father has told you this, or anyone in your family who's in the business, but your best friend is a lawyer.
Yeah.
It is, seriously is. And if somebody runs across something, or you run across somebody that wants to do something for you, it is your talent that they're riding off of.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
You got to protect yourself.
And basically, we can do all these things for you, and we can put you here and there and everywhere. They don't have the talent. They don't have the gift that you have. You have the gift so that they can make money.
Yeah, so you're calling the shots.
If you can understand that, then when you go to negotiate a deal with somebody, then the contract is written up in your favor and not theirs. And if it isn't, you throw it away.
Yeah, and then wait for them. If they found you, other people will.
That's right.
If the opportunity came around once, it'll come around again.
That's a very true story. Well, you got a great attitude. I swear,
I'm very
most
patient. And you asked what my goal is. My goal is to make a living performing my original music, and also to maintain artistic freedom forever.
Well, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. That was very well said.
Yeah, I finally figured out how to put it in words. You know?
well, we have time enough for one more tune. Would you like to?
I'll hop on over to the piano, since I played piano for so long. I might as well play some for you guys.
That'd be great. You know, this piano over here was given to us tonight by one of my, I would call it clients, that I'm associated with, Yamaha Piano Company. They're located in, Nancy, turn her mic on the piano, at number 5. See if your mic's on.
Oh,
check.
Yeah,
we're on.
We're good.
Anyway, these people are off of West Cool Springs Boulevard and out in Cool Springs, Tennessee. Long story short, they're the only Yamaha dealers in this town.
Wow.
Now, Yamaha is an interesting piano because it basically, in all the studios here that I've worked in, all the major studios, they all have Yamahas. Every once in a while, you find an old Baldwin that's been redone or whatever, but a Yamaha, usually from the factory, is set keyboard-wise well enough to where you don't have to do much to it to make it work. And as far as a miking instrument, they're a great instrument to mic up, where some of the other instruments are. So Ross and Sylvia Miller are the owners of the store. They supplied this piano for us tonight. I'd like to thank them very much for that. You can see the big Yamaha insignia in the front, and if you're in Nashville, Tennessee, go out to Cool Springs and take West Cool Springs Boulevard off of 65, headed south, and go down about a half a mile on the left-hand side, and they're the ones that sell Yamahas. They also sell other pianos in there as well. Ross and Sylvia Miller. This is Jackie Venson. This will be her last tune, and thank you very much, Jackie, for coming out tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been
I
a
enjoyed
blast.
I was sitting here and thinking about you when I was distracted by promises of something new. The way you treated me, it's a damn shame. 'Cause even a fool knows I'm a prize to claim. So I can't be with you, and I can't dwell on you, 'cause the love you gave don't match the love I give. Ooh, you should know by now, swimming in a sea of change. Some people running high, but I ride the wave. I take comfort in knowing this is fact, 'cause even when my chips are down, baby, I know I'll bounce back. So I can't be with you, and I can't dwell on you, 'cause the love you gave don't match the love I give. And then there are those nights, you know, where I think I really need you so. Your warm embrace I long to have, but the love you gave don't match the love I give. Ooh, the love I give. Gotta keep pressing on. 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 Yeah. Even when your chips are down, baby, gotta keep pressing on. 'Cause the love you gave don't match the love I give.
It was Jackie Benson. You know, you were telling me before the show that you were taking, and you don't have to mention any names at all, but you were taking piano lessons from somebody.
Yes, when I was 6. I don't remember her name.
And they basically weren't a good teacher.
They were very mean.
Yeah.
Every time I missed a note, she would hit my hand.
Yeah, that would have lasted about 10 seconds with me even as a kid, and I'd have probably hit her back. You know, that's and it's a very sad thing that not just piano teachers, but just some teachers in general, they're angry and they teach.
Jaded.
It's like $35 half an hour. You're done, out the door.
Yep, and
It's not
they're just in it because they need to pay the bills and they don't know what else to do.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
It really is, because music is not that at all.
It shouldn't be that. It's like, if you need to pay the bills, go get another job. Don't ruin music for some little kid just because you need to pay the bills.
Boy, there's never a truer statement than what you just got through saying. You've ruined
a lot
great
of kids.
talent.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden they get older and they listen to somebody else play and they start thinking about the fact when they were a kid they got to play, and then they think,
why didn't I stick with it?
Keep going.
Yeah. And it's like, you know why? Because your teacher was a jerk and you thought it was going to be a negative experience. That's why. And I don't blame you for thinking that.
You know what's interesting too in regards to that is that I saw on the internet, you may have saw this, there's a company that goes around, I think it's all over the world, but they put up pianos, old uprights.
In parks and stuff?
Yeah, in parks and stuff.
Yes.
And they put a big sign on the side that says, "Play me."
Yeah.
Some of those players are extraordinary.
Of course, you never know. I mean, you never know who you're walking past on the trail, You never. And then they sit down and they blow you away.
It just, and you're standing, and I've looked at them on the internet and I thought to myself, I would love to have been there.
Yeah.
And seen this guy doing this, or this lady just knocking people out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to advertise a little bit here. We rent the studio out, so if you're interested in this, it's got a great sound. I think Jackie would tell you that. We have a wonderful. It's just audio-wise, it's set up great. This is full HD, 1920 by 1080. You can contact us at ronniedean61@comcast.net. That's RONNIEDEAN61@comcast.net. Tonight, behind the curtain in there is a lady that runs this whole show. She's my wife, Nancy. Say hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Hello.
So what else we got here, Nancy, that we need to advertise?
Well, we need people to subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel full of videos from our shows, our past shows, and we want people to subscribe to it and share them and etc.
We are in the process of looking around at a different facility, and the reason this is a studio in a house, and then we live in another place. Long story made short, this is the front room of the house, and it took quite a while to set this up. But what we've been asked many times if people could come over as an audience and listen to all our performers and entertainers, and we haven't had the room, of course, to do it because it is just that, a studio. They can sit behind there with Nancy, maybe a couple of them, but that's as far as it goes. So we're looking for a facility, and we're thinking about making it so that we can invite like a private room where people could come in on a VIP basis to watch the show. So if you're interested, you can contact us at that email address I just gave you, or you can contact us back at 615-859-5523, which is the studio number.
And all that information is on the contact page, and you can see the website in the right-hand corner of the shot all through the show there if you want to get to the website and get to the contact page.
This show is live. This show tonight was pre-recorded live because she was going through town at this time, and we needed to record it. And you're an extraordinary talent. I'll tell you. Much. I've been playing for a long time. I send emails out to people from Sonic Bids and whatever to be on the show. Some of them return and whatever. You return, and I'm really glad that you did. I listened. It was funny because I had forgotten. there's so many people come through, and I had forgotten what when we signed you up, what you sounded like, and I punched you up this morning, and I thought, gee, the lady plays keyboards, so we need to get her a keyboard in here as well.
I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, Ross, I really appreciate what you did here, Ross and Sylvia, very much, and also Dave Martin. He's my friend at.
And he loaded it into the car.
Yeah, I've known Dave. I got here 25 years ago, and Dave and myself backed a black artist. His name was Curtis Reed. He was very good. He had $350,000 behind him, and Dave and I and a bunch of guys that I hired and helped arrange the music and stuff. And we played for a period of time. It was a lot of fun. Enjoyed it. Got paid well for it, and kind of got me started here. I was able to pick up a bunch of good musicians. Thanks again, Jackie, for coming, and maybe we'll see you again another trip through.
Absolutely.
If you are coming through again and you're going to do some shows around the area, contact us, and we'll do another either pre-record or on Saturday nights we run this show live.
Yeah, we could do it live, and that could be good promo for a little tour.
Positively. And remember, we're going to cut this stuff up and send it your way, and you can do whatever you want with it. And like I said, if you want to buy the flash afterwards of the whole show, we'll sell you the whole flash as well.
Great.
It's your music.
Heck yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.